What's going on, everybody? We are back for stream number 2 tonight, about the Challenge 40, September 30th. Still here we are on the same day, September 30th, 2024, and we've
Later, the same
transitioned,
day.
from Survivor 47 to the Challenge 40. I'm very excited to talk about it with you guys. So let's not waste any time, and we'll kick this thing off. That really should be the new theme song. It's just you doing that. I like it. I do. My name is John Dunphy Judea. Still standing my queen. She's not even on the season, but I miss her so much, Mariah. God, her thighs.
Oh my God.
She's
Right. Do you
just
miss
beautiful.
her or do you miss the thighs?
I miss every part. But especially the thighs. And that ass, God, fantastic. But yes,
Congratulations, Mariah.
yeah. But yeah, I'm joined as always by my ride or dies, Miss Gina Morgino and Mr. Kyle Petty Basal. We're Strat Chat, your favorite reality TV podcast. Find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. So this was episode 6. I actually wasn't here the last time when you guys were talking about this.
You sure wouldn't. And boy, oh boy, do we need to know how you feel about things. Of lesser importance, Horacio. What do you think?
I was bummed he was at. There was some controversy, right, with his elimination with Derek.
There's a lot of back and forth regarding the pegs, because apparently the official rules had stated that you didn't actually have to make sure the pegs were staying in the hole. Just as long as the peg went in the hole, that was enough to count. There were reports of production running out and putting pegs back into Derek's, even though they were not putting pegs back into Horacio's. And a lot of drama ensued. Apparently, there was a 1-hour pause for things to be reviewed and discussed, and a decision was then made that Horacio did not win. There was a lot of drama on the socials, as I'm sure you had seen, and some of the headlines that had been posted, courtesy of Entertainment Weekly and, other fun reality TV publications, all of which had then stated that the raw footage had been seen by Derek and Horacio, and the determination had been come upon that Horacio still lost by 1 second. So and Horacio was accepting this, but not 100%. There still seemed to be a little bit of holdback. And I would say that some of that is justified, because if you're saying that he lost by 1 second, if you were playing the game under the assumption that I had to put these pegs back, how much time did I spend putting pegs back that didn't need to be there? So it is an interesting conversation to have. So I'd love to know what you thought about that there.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about production in this show all the time. Like, I'm not really surprised that we're talking about another shady elimination.
Nobody's shocked with this. Nobody's shocked.
Right. And I guess, I'm bummed to see Horacio go, because I do like Horacio. And I feel like he had an amazing rookie season, and now the last couple haven't been as good. So it sucks to see him go out on an elimination that feels a little janky, that maybe he shouldn't have gone out on. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just, the whole thing is bizarre. I actually, I feel like I like Horacio a lot. He's obviously an incredible athlete and really good at challenges and competitions and eliminations or whatever. But I do feel like he's got some maturing to do in the game. I feel like he doesn't really seem interested in learning how to play the social game. He just doesn't really, I feel want to get involved in the politics and the drama, but I feel like he's going to have to, I think. So he survived his rookie season by going into eliminations and winning. How many eliminations did he win that season? And it's and in these, if I feel like he's got to put himself into a position where people don't want to constantly throw him into elimination, because he can't win every single time. So
Yeah, I do agree with that. I will say though that the Horacio drama has definitely taken some of the luster away from the challenge for me, and this has been part of a slow backup for me. While I'm doubling down into the Big Brother arena, we can have a bad season here or there, but I don't really contest a lot of things that production does. And at the end of the day, these comps. I'm not going to go so far as to say that they like to say the challenge is the fifth sport or the sixth sport or whatever they say. I don't think it's
Right.
all that. Like, let's not go that crazy. But like, there does need to be some integrity around the games that we play. And if we're just picking and choosing here and there, like I feel like Big Brother is very, very blatant in their we're throwing a twist in here because we don't want this to happen. And it's like, but you still got to get it right in order for this twist to be real. Like,
Right.
because I still do think that whole janky veto and the fact that Leah got it was just a really, it was like a very creative way of making it so that Angela and Leah could have some power in that moment. And I'm not 100% opposed to that because, I mean, that's literally, I like to always go back to board games. That is what a chance card does in Monopoly. It just
Mhm.
fucks up what you expected to be going on. This didn't feel good to me. And if you're going to keep doing this and you're just going to, that means what does mean something.
Right.
If there isn't one thing in a game like this that's completely black and white, that takes something away from me. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I will say that I'm starting to become a little disenchanted with the challenge. And it hurts me to say that because I've watched this longer than I've known the two of you combined.
Mhm.
Right.
This pains me.
Right.
Really, really bad.
No, yeah, I totally get that. I
As
totally
of
get
right now, I don't even think that I care to watch 40. One.
it.
I'll finish
Wow.
this one because I'm in it. But like I say that, but I'm still gonna watch it because I'm invested in these people.
Mhm.
But if this was a regular game, like let's just say this was something like Big Brother that did refresh the cast every single time, you would have lost me at this point.
Mm.
I'd have
Yeah,
been gone.
that's
So it's
fair.
only the people that's keeping me in, and that's really not good because people change.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. Um, what else did we have drama wise that I missed? Laurel and
Laurel and
Cara.
Cara. Laurel and Cara.
Um, I gotta tell you, I'm getting real tired of Laurel.
You are.
I am. I am. Like, I don't think that Cara is like totally innocent at everything. Obviously, we don't see everything, first of
Mhm.
all, right? These people have relationships outside of the game. So, like, not only we're not getting the full edit of what's happening in the game, but outside of the game, who knows what's happening, what people are saying to each other. But I just feel like Laurel has just been like, she's so nasty to people. I feel like she's just always screaming in people's faces. Like, I'm just so tired of it. Like, she's still a great competitor. Like, I picked her in the last two challenge seasons we've had her on. And she won one of those seasons, which was awesome because I got to win the draft and all that. But like, I'm just so, she's just like exhausting to me. And it seems like she's pissing like pretty much everybody off in there. And like, honestly, I love Ryan Kehoe. And like the fact that he was like apparently close friends with her, and then they go into this house this season and something really bad happened where to the point where like he cannot stand her anymore. I just feel like Laurel, something's going on with Laurel. Like she needs to figure some shit out. I feel like it just feels like she lashes out and just starts screaming at people like crazy. It's crazy to me, and it's just I'm getting so tired of it. I don't know.
I'm gonna be the one to come back with a hot take because I was kind of getting there with episode 4. So wait, I don't want to misnumber these. You said we just watched 6.
Yeah.
We're gathered here
Yeah.
today to talk about 6. My
Yes.
opinion on this situation changed with episode 5 because everything you said there is true. Laurel is definitely, she seems to be a little bit more of a hothead, but for what we saw in the edit, and I said this last week when I was talking
Mhm.
to Gina, but like I understand a lot of things were left out of that episode, but from what I saw, I felt that Kara was more the aggressor, and I felt that in this situation, Michelle brought a lot of this on. Leave her alone. Laurel could not have been more straightforward, more blunt about the fact that I do not like you. I'm not interested in being friends with you. I'm not interested in playing this game with you. I don't care if you come for me. And Laurel is also pretty straightforward that even if you come for me and I lose, well, I lost. But like, I don't like you. I don't want to play with you. And Michelle just said, "My mama didn't raise no quitter." And it's like, well, maybe she should have. Maybe
Right.
she should have told you at least when it's a good time to stop. Like, maybe you shouldn't quit. But like, this is not a battle you should be taking up. And then Kara walking in the way that she did, she's like, "Oh, so you don't want to? You she doesn't want to be friends with you. I'll be friends with you." It is the social equivalent of taking a machete to Flint. You are just asking to start something here. And it's like, cut the shit out. And then I don't know what was going on, but what I saw, again, because of the edit, Laurel was just squatted down in the pantry. And here comes Kara with her half dyed hair talking about her nonsense. And Laurel did say in that episode, like, Kara has a way of being very manipulative. And it's like, if all these things are to be true, then the way that this edit was presented says to me that Kara tried it. And then you want to get mad when you make Laurel angry when you know that's how she's going to respond. That has always been Laurel. We can certainly say she's a little bit ramped up at this point, but that was Laurel of yesteryear as well. As we saw in some of the footage they showed in this episode, when somebody had tried to come for Kara and she's like, "No, absolutely not. I won't have it." Like, Laurel has always been that. You just don't like that it's not in your favor.
Yeah. No, I hear that. All totally fair. And I don't disagree, because I did feel like, all right, you can definitely tell that there's something here on Kara's part of her trying to like get under the skin, ruffle some feathers, cause some drama. And I don't disagree with you at all. I just feel like overall, though, it just feels like Laurel's been a little much. And it seems like it's not necessarily just with Kara anymore, the beef. It seems like other people are starting to feel a certain way by the way Laurel just lashes out and screams at people.
Yeah.
The fact that she threw that whole challenge because she wanted Emily out, and then like at one point, I remember, I think this came up on the podcast that Zach does too, where he's like, "Laurel, you have to like think about the consequences of your own actions. Like, you threw this, your team's going to be pissed." And then when Nehemiah names her as a target, she's goes in her confessional like, "Oh, Nehemiah like doesn't know how to play this game." And Zach is like, "No, Nehemiah knows how to play this game, and he's won before. Like, you threw a challenge, your team is pissed at you, you get named the target. Like, sorry, like that's what happens. You took a risk or whatever by throwing it. It's totally your right to do it. There is a strategic benefit to that at times, but like, you have to understand that when now you come back and your whole team is pissed at you, like that's the way it is. And just because someone names you a target doesn't mean that they don't know how to play the game. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay. All that on paper sounds absolutely fantastic, but the second you start to mention Zach, as much as there's a lot about him that I like, there's a lot about him that I don't like, and like
oh
Zach
yeah, there's a ton about
I'm
Zach
sorry,
that I do not
there was a
like.
lot about Zach that is absolutely disgusting, and especially the way that he treated John A. like during the seasons that they played together, and it's like,
that was
now we're going to sit
terrible.
back and we're going to say like, oh, he is going to now talk about Laurel and say that she has to think about the consequences of her actions.
Totally.
When that is your entire challenge history, is you not thinking about the consequences of your own actions. So like, I have a hard time accepting that from somebody like Zach.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. I think that it's just a valid statement. It doesn't really matter to me who it's coming from, honestly.
It does, just as far as what my stomach can handle. And I have a rough go when it comes to Zach, but I hear what you're saying there. It is so, oh my God, there's so many layers. I don't even know where to begin, because I did not even prepare for you to come with that argument, as if like, because I just think it's so preposterous to think that like after episode 5 that you're not backing Laurel. And like I respect your opinion, everyone's entitled to theirs, and I respect you greatly. But I just don't. I can't get behind
I'm
it.
still
And
I'm team Kara. I'm team Kara all the
I
way.
know.
I'm
I don't.
Her too.
I know. I don't know that I am. I don't feel like I'm in a position to say that I'm team one or the other. I'm not choosing one or the other. I think you're both equally wrong. I think you have a very complicated relationship that is one that other people should not be. Other people should not be commenting on because I don't want to say that they are as close. But when I think of people that have been through a lot together, and not trying to be like overly emotional here, but that's like you and I get into a fight and Gina has something to say. I'm sorry, there's a lot of layers here.
Mm.
Like you've been with us through a lot, but you haven't been through everything. So like you can have your opinion, but I would really appreciate you just being quiet because there's also so much you don't know. And that's kind of where I put like Laurel and Kara. And I do feel that to a certain extent, Kara does manipulate certain situations to make her look like she's a little bit more of the victim. And if we had to go percentage wise, she will always be more of the victim than Laurel is, right? Laurel is always going to be the more aggressive part, but I think that Kara plays a little bit more of a hand in this than she is given the credit for, because she does know Laurel well enough to know exactly what buttons to push.
Sure.
And when I think about that moment when she walked in where Michelle was trying to have this conversation with Laurel and Kara was doing what she was doing, like you also, if we're going to make room for the possibility that the edit leaves certain things out, I have to wonder how many other moments like that of Kara's were left out where she was stoking the flame.
Yeah, no, that's very fair.
And it's so easy as viewers for us to condemn Laurel for her behavior because we didn't see where it came from.
Mm-hmm.
And I know how much of a hothead I can be. Like, yes, you know I love my Hallmark, my wholesome, positive content. But I was still getting that fucking ass if you try me. Like not to steal lines from Chelsea, but half hood, half holy. Like stop, don't play games with me, half righteous and half ratchet. Like that's what it is.
Yeah.
So that's all. I just feel like it's so easy to pile on the person that we think is acting a little bit more negative. But if we're not going to have a discussion about how we got there, then like it's not really fair to condemn that person.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, that's all very fair. And like that's why I was saying too, like a lot of stuff gets left out. We don't see a lot of things that are sometimes happening in the edit itself. But even outside of this, these people have such a long history,
right?
Whether it was friends or that they dated, you know what I mean? Like all of these people on this show have such like a crazy history that like it's really hard to say like who's at fault, who's not. But I mean, at least from what we did see, I felt like in All Stars 4, right? Like for example, the way that Laurel went after Kara during that season felt like malicious to me, especially because Laurel had the whole Nicole thing going on. And I guess part of my opinion is coming from that season as well, like as this is like a continuation of it. But I do agree that in this season particularly, I have seen what seems like Kara sort of egging things on a little bit more. And I'm sure that there's stuff being left out that we're not seeing that Kara's done or said. So
yeah, and you know what? And I was pretty big on not liking Laurel's behavior in All Stars 4 as well, with some of the way that she spoke to Kara. But now seeing some of this stuff and now looking back, could we also have been looking at a woman who was just sick and tired of her fucking shit? And like, if you know me so well and you keep saying that we're so close, can't you see that I'm going through it with this Nicole situation? Can't you show me a little bit more grace than you're showing me right now? As you keep just every time I turn around, here you come with your bullshit. Like maybe I've just had enough.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's two sides, and somewhere in the middle is what's actually going on. Yeah.
So, right.
Yeah.
But I mean, and then honestly, for me, like the opinion is just really because I feel like Laurel's the one that we see constantly screaming and getting people's faces, and it's just I've just had enough of it, honestly.
Right.
And
that's fair.
So maybe my problem isn't so much with like Laurel herself because maybe she hasn't done all that. I'm just like, please stop screaming at me, Laurel.
Yeah, every time I turn around, you're yelling. I just don't want to hear you yelling anymore.
Right.
Yeah, I can appreciate that too. Yeah. I just I don't like it when people get piled on one way or the other. And like so I always that's why I like to play devil's advocate. But with
Right.
this one, like I don't know. I feel like there's so many layers to it. It's just tough. It's tough, especially because
Yeah.
we don't really know what their relationship really looks like. Um,
Right.
and I find it
Right.
really, really hard to believe that someone that has the Laurel does, for all of her perceived faults, she does seem to have a pretty strong sense of morals and how one should conduct themselves when backing a friend. And we've seen it with Kara. So it's like, I don't know that you go from that to being 100% against someone either. And even you had mentioned, Laurel throwing the challenge so that Emily could go in. I didn't like it because I like Emily, but we have seen that in every other game that we watch.
Oh no, yeah. And
People do that all the time. So now all of a sudden we want to like, crucify Laurel for
no, well,
having done it. And she's like,
that wasn't
no, this
really
person
no.
they have to go. Like
That
I don't want to
so
see you.
her actually throwing it is not what bothered me because like you said, we have seen that. What bothers me is that after it, because we're in a team stage of this game, and they were apparently doing very well in the challenge at that point. So what bothered me is that Laurel is going to sit there and like criticize her team for being pissed that she threw it. Like, all right, you threw it because you wanted to get Emily out. That helps you in the final. Totally fair. But now that we've lost this, you're putting people on your own team in danger. So
So own it.
right. So like when they go to
That's fair.
elimination now because
fair.
of you, and they come back and they say, listen, we're targeting Laurel because she threw a challenge. Like that's what I mean, because that Laurel's response to Nehemiah naming her as a target, naming her a target after she gets caught throwing it, is Nehemiah doesn't know how to play this game. And like that's where like the whole
that's just Laurel just being angry.
Right.
She didn't get her way, so she's mad.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I agree with that.
I'm super annoyed with myself because I was just going to retweet this, and then I realized that I am an idiot and wrote the title of the video on Twitter as hashtag the space challenge 40.
Not how hashtags work, babe.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. So I'm reposting it. Listen, it's the first time I got an applause and a sad trumpet in this panel.
In like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
An applause and a sad trumpet.
It's pretty tough. I hate to see it.
I'm just gonna sorry. All right, I guess we should actually talk about the episode that we were
that we gathered here today.
We had to catch up. And thank you for the people who are watching.
Yeah,
I didn't leave.
We don't really have to get into this either, but I feel like I know that Gina especially was calling some shenanigans on that elimination that Tina just dominated. Yeah, that all I'll say is that it's very weird. It's very weird. I don't know. Everyone else did not have as much ease getting the nails out, but maybe she's just that good. Who knows?
No, she's not. No, I love Tina. That's why I chose her.
Yeah.
I think Tina's fantastic. That was stacked in her favor. Like it was. Like CT went up and couldn't do it the same way.
Yeah. So it was definitely weird.
Come on. CT, if he wanted to, could have just put his foot through that drywall.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like this is not, like no, I'm sorry. Like that, there was something not right there.
Yeah. But all right. So coming into this episode, Era 1 has been really going through it, huh? I'm so bummed that we lost CT. I'm so bummed. I was really enjoying his pro tips.
I was also enjoying his pro tips.
Yeah.
I was enjoying them too, but I low-key, I was wondering, like, are you getting these little features because
you're going to be awesome?
Going to make it right. Like there's a little part of me, like you start to know how these shows are edited, and you start to kind of give people a little extra when you know that they deserve more respect, but they're not going to be here. So just like John Egg all of a sudden got a lot of screen time in this episode, and then
oh, John A. Speaking of John A, it's really become an interesting part of the game to me about how after each elimination, the winners have to pick targets from each era, right? And we've seen people stepping up to volunteer. Now, I guess so. Janae was supposed to volunteer, didn't, pissed her team off, and she ended up getting chosen anyway. But what do you think of this twist with the targets? And like, I like how it kind of adds a whole other element to like you're working with these people on this team. Are you going to volunteer? Or you're not going to put yourself in danger? Like, and the fact that like you can piss people off even from that now, like, it's just that's a little fun dynamic to the game too that I feel like has been added in.
Well, there has also been like a weird entitlement that we kind of talked about last week too. With I think was it Kyland and Josh that we were talking about.
Josh said he would volunteer. He didn't, and
like,
Kyland got picked.
But Kyland was getting pissy about that. Like, dude, what the hell? You were supposed to volunteer. Now I have to go in. It wasn't like Kyland had gone in before and now he was getting chosen again. Why can't this time just be Kyland's turn and next time it'll be Josh's turn?
No, I think Kyland did.
Am I confused? There was somebody that was
Kyland has been unsafe. There was another person it was Devin.
Devin. Is that what it was? I couldn't remember what pairing it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Kyland had a right because he had been unsafe before. It was Devin
and who? Do you remember?
Corey. It was Corey.
Like, why did this time have to be Corey's time? This time could just be Devin's time, and next time could be Corey's time. Like, why were you entitled that, like, no, you had to volunteer specifically this time because now I have to go in and I'm pissed. Like, no, you
right? No,
it
didn't have to be Corey that time. It did have to be Corey this time.
Yeah,
and that was my complaint because I felt that it took some of the steam away from Kyland saying that to Josh because Kyland had gone.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, I couldn't remember who had and who hadn't.
Yeah.
I just remember we had the conversation about it.
Yeah, and you wanted to tip the scales to your man. I understand.
I couldn't remember.
I also feel like I would be pissed. I feel like no matter who had been put in danger or not. But like, if as a team we're having a discussion, like, all right, I'll volunteer for the men from our era. This person will volunteer for the women. If we've talked this out, and then we get down there and you punk out, like,
I'd be so fucking pissed, yo.
Pissed too, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
On the line because you went back on your word, because that's what it is. Think about any other deal that people make. Like, oh, if I win the daily challenge, I won't nominate you for elimination or this or that. Like, people give each other their.
Mm-hmm.
It's just another situation where, like, Josh said he was going to do this and he didn't. So can I really trust anything Josh tells me? Like, who's saying he'll just throw me into elimination himself next time? Like,
listen, I don't want to continue to be froggy here and to be jumping all over the place, but I have to say that is also why I'm starting to have a problem with Casey, and I've been having a problem with Michelle. And like I'm sure we're going to get into Michelle a little bit more later, but it's like you all do not get to be. Oh my gosh. And this is why I have so much to say about this, because like I am so not high on Josh. Ever since we met him, I'm done. I'm over him. Sorry. It was a really terrible moment. But you know what? He did raise his hand this time, and then he's gonna now come out of this deliberation and make a decision, and you don't like it, and you're gonna have an attitude with him. Well, then you know what? If you didn't like it, you should have raised your hand and get down there with him. You don't get to now criticize this person for making decisions, for being a part of a conversation that you did not raise your hand to be a part of. It doesn't work like that. So Michelle, shut the fuck up. Casey, shut the fuck up. You don't get to have all these comments when you have been coy the entire time. You let my girl Jenny go down twice. Leave her alone. Like I'm so sick of these people who act like they have nothing to do. Oh my gosh. They have so much to do with all of it. They have so much to say. I'm sorry. If I'm on the line, it is 110% my decision. Maybe, obviously, split with the person sitting with you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But that's it. So like, and that's where my Josh defense ends. But like, leave that man alone. He can do whatever the fuck he wants down there because he was there and you weren't.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I feel like Josh gets himself in trouble too sometimes because he just talks too much. Like he was the one before they did the deliberation, right after Daily Challenge, that was like, I really love this team and working together, so I really want to make this like a team decision on who we send into elimination. And then as soon as he gets down to the chamber, he's going to Jenny, we should just make the best decision for us, not the team. And I'm like, shut up, dude. Shut up.
Well, I mean, the issue with that, though, is that if I'm going to sit here and say that I want to make a decision with the team, that I would also think that you would acknowledge the fact that I am the one down there making this decision. I would expect my team to make a decision that also favors me. You only want me to do the things that work for you. So that wasn't really, I'm saying I want to make a team decision, but this team decision doesn't do anything for me. So you're just basically expecting to play puppeteer with me.
Right. Like, I just feel like don't tell the team that they have a say in the decision if you're not going to actually give it to them. That's all I'm saying. Like I feel like it's the same thing as being like, oh, I'll volunteer and then not.
What does that mean to say that somebody has a say? Because simply because this is what you said, this is now what I have to do. You had a say because I heard your argument. You had a say.
No, absolutely.
So the conversation is over. The conversation is finished. I went down there and I made a decision.
I just feel like he says too much to the point where, like, all right, it's going to become a pattern of like, you said you were going to volunteer and you didn't. Now you said it's going to be a team decision and it wasn't. I just feel like I don't think you're wrong at all. I think he should do whatever the hell he wants. But I just feel like it seems like it's the same thing. Like, all right, you keep saying to the team one thing and then you do another thing. And when the time comes.
Except the only thing that I would argue with that is that I don't know that he actually said, I want this to be a team decision. I want it to be a team conversation. I don't know. Did he actually use the word team decision? Like, I want us to come together as a team, but like, you can get everyone's feedback and still go against it. I mean, that's what a manager does.
I don't remember 100%. I feel like he did say decision, but I could be wrong.
I guess he could have, and honestly, then you're really just getting wrapped up on the vernacular of the situation.
Right. Well, that's the thing too.
I just think that he does have the right to make his own decision at that point. And he heard everyone out, and that's all you could really ask for.
I completely agree with you. Yeah,
and you didn't even really deserve it. Quite honestly, you don't deserve the floor. Right. If I'm the only one at risk, this is 100% my decision to make.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. I do. I'm just saying how I can see how his team might start to get annoyed if he keeps saying one thing to them and doing another thing. That's all. But I don't.
Yeah.
I don't
well,
think
you know what,
have to
Casey
worry about,
and Michelle. Then if you know what, you keep saying that you're going to volunteer and you don't. So if we're going to split hairs there and talk about what one person is saying and they don't do, well, then you know what, y'all are right up there with me.
Yeah, so Casey's never been chosen to be a target, right? And she's never volunteered to do it either.
No, right? She absolutely does not. But she has an attitude when things don't go the way that she wanted to go. Oh, I don't know why you're doing this. Well, you want something different? Get down there.
Yeah.
Sorry. Tired of it. Leave Josh alone on that front.
Right.
All right. I don't want y'all walking away from this. Anybody who's about to click out in 30 seconds, don't think I'm a Josh fan, because I'm not. I just think everyone has a right to their own decisions and their own opinions. And that's why you should register to vote. Go to vote.gov today and register to vote, because your vote does matter.
That's right. Vote blue. Vote blue. So what do we think about this whole Devin and Michelle showmance?
Oh boy!
And Johnny Banana's thoughts on this and his interjecting into the said showmance.
This is so messy.
Okay.
Gathering your thoughts.
No, I have my thoughts. I know the implications of sharing them.
Uh-oh.
I love Johnny Bananas.
Yeah.
I love him. He had this one coming, though. He had this one coming, because you always think you're so much smarter than everybody else. You think that people won't repeat the things that you say. And that is not this new era of the challenge. Okay, these people, they know better. Okay, you absolutely said what you said to Michelle about Devin to stoke the fire, and you could not believe that your name was brought up, because that's not how it worked 10, 15 years ago. So you're shocked that this girl, who I do believe you have a personal relationship with outside of here, I do believe that they actually are friends, which also lends itself more to why he thought that he could kind of like manipulate this situation. And you lost. Someone got you. Yeah. And her name is Michelle F. Yeah. Sorry, you took an L here. And it's because you are not behaving as smart as I know you to be. I know you're capable of more. So Bananas, if you're watching, get it together. Get it together. This is not why I fell in love with you.
Yeah.
It was really so crazy to watch him be like, oh, so what? I just walked up to Michelle unprompted and was like, Devin's using you for
Right, it's
your
like that's
game. And it's like, that's
exactly what
exactly
you
what you
did.
did.
Right, and like
Yeah.
because you're speaking as if like there's a time before there was a Paramount Plus, right? People didn't get to go back years ago and see exactly how you operate. So of course people back then would have said, "Oh no, no, oh no." Of course I wouldn't really think that. We all know you. We know you. Even the people that you don't know you.
Yeah.
So you can't play these old school games. It doesn't work anymore. People know you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was this was an era. This was his
Mhm.
fault.
It was very sloppy, especially for someone as seasoned as Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the showmance itself, though? Is Johnny wrong, or is Devin strictly using her as a pawn, or do you think there's some real feelings there? Or,
I haven't seen enough to say.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't like either of them enough to like follow them on social media. I don't know what
I
goes
was
on
gonna say
inside
that
of
they
your
are both people that I just find grating. It makes sense that they ended up together. Like, but
right. So I don't really know.
Right. See, I like Devin on the show just because he's trying to be an irritant and he's good at it. Like,
Yeah, no, I
yeah,
like
and
him
he
on the
I
irritates
show.
don't,
me.
yeah, I don't
Yeah, I
actually
like him on the
root
show.
for
I'm not
him
going to
really.
follow him
I don't
anywhere.
really
So I
care.
couldn't
Yeah.
really tell you. Yeah, I couldn't tell you if it's legit.
And I will also tell you,
Yeah.
I still don't love Michelle, but I'm telling you that the problem with Michelle, for the most part, I think
It's
on
her
past
mouth.
seasons, was Jay. Her when she's like working with Jay, she is like 10 times worse. I do not mind Michelle as much on this season, particularly. Still not a huge fan. Still not really rooting for her, but if Jay is not in the picture, Michelle is like infinitely more tolerable on a season of the challenge, at least in my opinion. But
No, I would agree with that. Well, I don't know that I would go so far as to say infinitely, but I
well, that's
will
how
say
bad
that
it is, though.
I know, but
Jay and Asaf and
infinitely
their
is just
stupid music
it's just
videos.
I know. No, no, they're terrible. They're terrible. I never need to see them again. But I mean, infinitely, I still feel like it's too much of an extreme. She definitely is more tolerable.
Okay, exponentially better, not infinitely better. That's what I'll say.
I hate how strong your word choices are. She is just more tolerable.
But that's how bad it was
Maybe
last
not even
season.
more. She's just
Tolerable.
tolerable. Like I still don't like her, but like I could defend her. I could at least give her the benefit of the doubt a little bit. Like I suppose Jay and Asaf, even in my trying to be diplomatic, I still wouldn't give them the benefit of the doubt. I
Man,
will at least give Michelle that. Sure, sure.
Matt Blevins is having a rough time.
Yeah, I know he is. I know he is.
My
Mhm.
heart
I know.
says the
Matt, I
Fitz
know.
slander.
Matt doesn't know what to do because he loves Huss very much, but he really also loves Michelle. So he's always stuck in a really tough place. And I do. My heart goes out to him, but I just, even for the sake of you, I can't change myself.
Yeah. Do you know who Matt does not like? Do you know who?
Is this rhetorical? Or are you gonna like hit us with the knowledge? Hit us with
Matt
the
says
heat.
that Casey sucks and her legacy belongs to Rockstar as far as he's concerned.
Ooh, damn.
Wow. Listen, I loved Casey coming out of Big Brother, and now I just feel like she's just kind of takes up space on the show. She's good. She can compete, but I feel like,
Yeah, I have to be honest. I don't really care about Casey on the challenge.
yeah.
The
I
only
like.
thing
She's fully on my draft team, and
You
I
forget that she's there.
forgot she was on the season.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't really care about Casey. I think the only thing I really care about is that she keeps Nani happy. And Nani seems
Yeah.
happy, so we're fine. But the second Nani's upset, Casey's out. Um,
Yeah.
she didn't really add anything to the challenge. You always, I think every season she's been on, you forget that she's there until the
Yeah.
finale. Like once she gets it, because she always makes it to the final. So you know, and that's what's interesting about the challenge because what Casey is good at, even though like she's not good TV, she definitely is doing something right socially that no one ever puts her up. Like that's the real reason why we don't ever see her.
Right.
That's why you're able to forget about her because she's doing something so well socially that
Yeah. Yeah.
it's almost not even necessary to show her because she's not involved in any drama. There's no nothing. There is something to be said for that. But like, I don't see a cast list and see Casey and be like, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Kyler had a comment here. I can't even watch the season, but what I have noticed from the podcast is that Casey has been less than a couch this season. More like seasonal outdoor furniture that goes away for months.
Whoa.
That's tough.
I mean,
That's
that
tough.
is just honestly a scathing review from
Yeah.
someone who is very passionate about the challenge. Less than a couch, more like seasonal outdoor furniture that honestly,
Tough read.
as we're knocking on autumn's door, actually we're like a week in, should be pulling that seasonal furniture in. You know,
Ugh.
shorts are starting to be packed up.
Yeah.
All of your little patio furniture that has the pineapples on it, all those little cute things, little ocean waves and suns and stuff. It's time for it to go away because we're trading it in for leaves.
Yeah.
And that's where Casey goes. Lock her up. Lock her up until May. We'll see you Memorial Day.
We'll see you on Memorial Day. Oh my god. But yes, so we had a daily challenge called the Cloud Catcher.
Oh boy.
What'd you think of this daily challenge? The teams had to run out, grab their giant balloons, make sure they didn't get popped by the pergola, and then they would have to place them at their station to reveal a riddle of sorts. Right? That would, if they figured out the riddle, they'd get a code, open their chest, and they were done. And basically, the goal here was not necessarily to finish the fastest, because the winning team did not finish the fastest. You had to have the most balloons at your station. And Era 2 and Era 3 finished first. I forget which one actually finished first, but those two eras were done first. Era 4 finished next. Era 1 finished last, had hardly any balloons. Era 4 won, though. Era 4 won. And that meant that Josh and Jenny were safe and in power. What happened to Derek's leg here? It seemed like it seemed like really bad. Like really bad. And he continued, but I thought at some point, like after the challenge, we'd get like an update, like, oh, he went to see medical and he has a fracture or something.
I don't know, he just like land wrong.
Yeah,
like, I don't
right,
fully understand what happened there either.
And we just never heard anything about it. And then like the time that I thought about it, like we're watching him struggle throughout the whole challenge, and then it just ends. And then when they went out to the club later on, he's just standing there talking to Brad like everything's fine. And I'm like, so is his leg just fine? Like, what's happening here? Like,
yeah, it's very odd. I don't really know what went down there.
Kyle.
This challenge sucked.
I didn't like it either.
No, it had good bones. It had good bones. But what I don't enjoy is any challenge that can't be quantified at the end. Not only are we not getting times in these, but we also don't really know where anyone stands because it's not really about the balloons, about the time, but also it's sort of about the balloons. We don't really know what popped. It's impossible to know. What is this?
Yeah, not even
like this still falls under the umbrella of like production just getting to pick and choose who's going to win.
There was a lot of room for shenanigans on here.
Yes, yeah. Too much.
Not even honestly, a single time did they just flash up like a number. Like this team has 5 balloons. This team has 4 balloons. Like nothing. The entire challenge.
Which is wild because in the way that this show is edited, you really could have just shown us any numbers, and we would have just
have no choice but to accept it. Yeah,
exactly. Like, but instead you chose to show us none, which actually adds to the cacophony of crap that was surrounding this challenge. And like this was literally this was like a half hour that we just that we like dedicated to this challenge. Like multiple commercial breaks. It would not have been nearly as exciting if you weren't dealing with the whole Derek faux injury situation. That I'm so glad that you brought up the fact that it was not brought up again, because I was like towards the end and I was like, wait a minute. What happened to the whole Derek's leg thing? Totally got forgotten. He's now at the bar talking strategy with other people, standing with no problem.
Yeah.
He's not wincing. There's nothing going on. And it's like, what was any of this? Like this season, that I just feel like the tomfoolery is running rampant,
Mm.
and uh,
Yeah, it's bizarre. Um,
season is starting to really suck. I'm sorry.
no, I mean, listen,
I'm still in. My
I hear you.
faves are there.
I
I'm
hear you.
gonna keep watching, so I'm gonna keep talking about it. But
Yeah,
I'm far from jazzed. All right, lots of flat notes.
yeah.
Get it, jazz, flat
I
notes.
get it. Yeah.
Thanks.
Very good.
It was good. I liked it.
She's
I
like
enjoyed it.
very good.
I enjoyed it.
Thanks. Ah.
But so yeah, so Era 4 wins. Josh and Jenny in power. It was, who was it? Brad and Rachel, right? For Era 1, because they came in last, they were automatically going
Mhm.
to elimination. Um, so aside, I mean, we talked about the Josh and Jenny decision already, but like, I feel like we talked about like the implications for like what their team would think, but just the decision itself of choosing to save Bananas and Laurel, and send Corey and John A in. Do you think that was the right decision?
It's kind of hard to say, at least for me, because John A likes to make a lot of very strong statements about how, like, oh, I would have had your back, would have had this. And it's like, you weren't even willing to raise your hand for your own team.
Mhm.
Do I really expect there to be a situation where you're going to put anything on the line to help me?
Right.
If you can't do it for your current team, I cannot expect you to do anything for me later. And I'm not even in your era.
Yeah.
I mean, that being said, it also, I think, would also then depend, because one could also then argue that like John A is a little self-serving, so maybe there's a world in which if she thought that that decision fared better for her than others, that maybe she would have.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't really see John A as somebody that I would trust enough to make game decisions around. If things happen to fall in place that I work with her, fine, but I'm not making a decision based on your word.
Yeah.
I think I'd be better off with Johnny and Laurel at that point.
Right. Right. I also feel like obviously it's a big move to try to take both Johnny and Laurel out at the same time. But what are the odds that you're actually going to be able to do that? And at that point, I'd much rather have a Corey or a John A coming after me for putting them in rather than a Bananas or a Laurel. Like I just, um, because then I feel like Bananas is going to let it hang over Josh. If Bananas gets thrown in by Josh, you screwed me last time. You could have made up for it. Now you put me in again. Now
But
it's just
that's the
going to,
part that makes me kind of go back and forth, because it's like you have already pissed him off, so all you would do by throwing him in is reinforce that you pissed him off. Like, I don't know that he necessarily gained a lot of favor by not putting him in, but by not putting him in, you have now pissed off somebody else. So instead of just being like, well, Bananas is already mad at me, I'll just like stick with that, you're now pissing off Bananas and Corey.
and like your whole team potentially, because it seems like they wanted.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's what gives me pause, because like I don't know that he necessarily gained a ton of favor with Bananas for not putting him in. It's just like, all right, well, you didn't put me in. That's it. Like I don't know that he's now like, oh well, and now I know that I can trust you and we're working together and blah blah blah. Like I don't know if I see that being the end result of not putting him in.
Yeah.
That's all totally valid. I think that's all very real. I think that the world that we live in now with this reality TV, I think it complicates the entire situation. I think a lot of these decisions are super, super layered. Who do I want to piss off, or maybe not who do I want to piss off more, but who am I more comfortable with pissing off?
Mm.
Johnny, who is already mad at me, but he also gets cast on other things, and I have other reality TV aspirations, right? So maybe Bananas is not the one that I want to continue this with. Let's go with Corey. I know that you're somebody who doesn't really play other games. You were definitely miffed that you weren't on the Traders, because he was very vocal on social media that he was supposed to be on that cast and then was cut at the very last minute. So you're not really somebody that I'm really going to be seeing a lot outside of here, and maybe I could roll the dice on not letting this be in your favor because there's less overall blowback to my entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I oh, I don't like saying this because he's supposed to be my guy, but there is a world in which, like, maybe bananas should not be as involved in this world, because you've become so much of a star that, like, no one really wants to go against you. And you're definitely at a stage in your challenge career where other people could likely beat you, but they won't go against you because of those implications I just stated. So your influence in, like, other things, has that now superseded, like, what's going on in the actual game?
Hmm.
Now making you, like, really not a valid person to have in this conversation because we're no longer playing the challenge 40. We're playing life,
Right.
the game of life.
Game of life.
So I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah.
And how many friends does Bananas have that's in the game? So even if Bananas goes in and loses, here's the other thing too. I don't think it should be I don't think it should be overlooked that the elimination was against Brad. Brad very much gave me the impression at this stage that he was kind of checked out. He had made a comment earlier on that he's like, "Oh, you know what? One more L, and I'm on
Yep.
my next flight."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like, so, how? You know, eh, was it a bit of a layup? Is there a way that you can spin putting Corey in to say, "Hey, I already knew that Brad had given up. This is
Mm.
your game to lose."
Right. Right.
Because if we saw that one little thing that they allowed us to see, because that production does not want us to know that other people don't want to play anymore.
Right,
Like,
right,
they don't want to say that. And if they let us see that, then I wonder if there was more chatter going on behind the scenes that maybe could have influenced that decision some, and maybe that would affect how Corey viewed being put in.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, he still might be pissed because you still did have another decision, but does that maybe that softens the blow?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm saying there was so much to talk about with this. There's so much that what happened in this
There's a
episode.
lot of layers, yeah.
Yeah, especially when again, because you're dealing with people who have played this game before. Like, you don't have these layers when you watch Big Brother or Survivor because they're all new to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right. Right.
yeah.
It's very interesting. Um, so we got to the elimination,
Mhm.
and this one was called "To the Point." Pretty straightforward. Both teams, both competitors, were facing off. They each had these pointy spears behind them and a bunch of balls in front of them, and they had to pick up the balls and try to land them on the tips of these spears.
Mhm.
And whoever got the most would win. And you could play offense or defense. We saw players trying to block each other. We saw at one point, I guess it was Corey, right? He got a little bit of a lead at one point and was just chucking balls out of the
Mm-hmm.
field of play, because once they were out, they were dead balls. So once he had gotten a little bit of a lead, he was just trying to get Brad to avoid having Brad catch up. Um, did you like this elimination? I know you didn't love the daily challenge, Kyle. Did you like the elimination though?
I loved this elimination.
Really? Okay.
This was so much fun to watch for me. Um, what didn't it have? You played the game pretty straightforward in the beginning, and then it switched. You all of a sudden it's like, all right, now wait, I got the points that I have. Do I continue to play offense? Do I play defense? What is this person doing? This was thrilling to watch, I thought.
Yeah, it was fun.
I really like this elimination, and I would absolutely lobby to see this one again and again and again.
Yeah,
This should be in the rotation like Hall Brawl, Pole Wrestle.
This one,
This
like
one
it
was
looks so hard too. Like at
It
first I
looks
was like, "Oh, that's probably
right.
fine," and then like
Is
as
it?
they were doing it, I was like, "Oh, this is impossible."
Yes, and they also mentioned how the balls were not evenly weighted. Like
Yep.
I love, we talk about equitable comps all the time. This is not one that you could say, "Oh, I'm really good at puzzles," or "I'm really good physically." There was a lot going on in this one too. I thought this was awesome. I would have loved to watch this live,
Mm.
like
Yeah.
in person, like just cheering from the side. This was really, really cool.
Right. No, this is definitely a good one.
I
Definitely.
liked it. I liked it a lot.
But yeah, the who went first? The men went first,
Yep.
and it was Brad and Corey. Pretty close. Brad took a lead, like I said, but it was 3-0. Brad towards the end caught up a little bit. It was 3-2, but Brad did end up losing. Got sent home, and Corey took the W. So good for
Sure
Corey.
did.
Another
Good for
number
Corey.
down.
Yeah, Gina took a hit this week with
I'm
Brad
not doing
leaving.
too hot.
You
Not
still
doing
got good
too
people,
hot.
though. You still got good people.
You do have good people. You have good people.
We keep saying that every week, and every week they're going home. So.
But that's the thing is like even the people that are going home are not bad people.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
and that's the thing about this season that is very, very fun is that everyone is good. Like it's
Yeah.
not like, oh well, yeah, well, the clock was ticking on so and so. That's not true. Like
Right.
these are all like awesome, awesome people.
Yeah. No, totally.
I have to also say though, I'm very, very endeared to Corey the more and more that I see him.
Oh, I thought you
You know,
didn't like him.
I know. That was old me. I'm not there anymore. Like, there's definitely something to like just I don't know, watching a proud dad. Like when he made that comment, he's like, "I want my girls to see this. You know, Daddy's going to work," and I'm like,
Uh-huh.
"There's a new Daddy!" Like I was like just on board. And it's like I can just imagine him sitting at home watching it with his kids or something. And they're like, "Yay, Daddy's gonna go to work!" And it's like, "Yes, he is," and he fucking crushed it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know. I'm sort of digging Corey the older he
Okay.
gets.
Yeah.
Because
I
he's
like
calmed
Corey.
down a little bit. He's just kind of cool. He's just like
Yeah.
just hanging out, just trying to do the best he can. He's not making as many waves as he used to, pissing off Nelson and stuff like that. I don't really like when people fuck with Nelly. Like I don't like that. So like this is good. No, I
Yeah.
like this Corey. I like him.
I like Corey as well.
Mhm.
I feel like
Sorry I didn't choose him.
yeah, so many people. I feel like I feel like people's like personal beefs were coming up a lot because we also got the. I think Corey mentioned how him and Bananas have never liked each other, and they were the two that were being decided on for elimination. So
Yeah, and that could have had a lot to do with what I didn't like him.
yeah,
I'm a follower at heart. Yeah.
Yeah. When it came time for the women, it was Janae and Rachel, and Rachel took it home.
I knew she would.
Yeah, so I took a hit. Yeah, I took a hit here with Janae leaving. But I still feel pretty good about my team.
You got a strong team here. Derek seems to have a fake injury.
Yeah, I
haven't heard anything.
I thought halfway through the episode, I was like, I'm going to lose Derek to a medical right now. Like, but apparently he's okay. Avery is just so hot.
I was like, what could you possibly say about her? Because she didn't do anything this episode. Like, I forgot she was even there.
Yeah.
Like, they did give her like one random confession. I was like, oh, Avery.
Yeah.
Hey, girl.
Oh, hey, girl, hey.
I tell you, that top line of my picks though looks so strong. Look at that. Jordan, Laurel, Derek, and Tori. I love it. I love it.
All right.
Kyle took no. Kyle, no hits this week. Kyle's looking good. Kyle's only lost 4. You got Aviv. I like Aviv a lot.
I told y'all.
Yeah.
Love that bitch.
Jenny's good. Rachel's a beast.
I knew she was going to crush it. People be sleeping on that woman, and I don't know why. Rachel, I mean, she actually will kill you. Like,
yeah, I believe it. I believe she would.
Yeah, I fucking love her. I think she's fantastic. Even though Tina, she was involved in the nail tomfoolery.
It just happened to her.
Yeah,
it wasn't her fault.
It wasn't her fault, but Unfortunately, you do have to take some of the negative blowback from it. But there was no good end in that one for me. Either way, I was going to take a hit
Right.
in that one. Yeah. But I like that Jenny's still kicking. I really like Jenny.
Her arms are crazy.
Her arms are crazy. Everything about her is crazy. I gotta say, I love y'all's teams, but the physical attractiveness of my team, I mean, is really second to none. Like, this is the hottest team in Strat Chat. Everyone here is a banger. I have no clunkers. Like, I
No
will tell you,
clunkers.
no clunkers. Everyone here is hot as fuck. Even the people who are grayed out, hot as hell. Who here wouldn't you sleep with? I just honestly, like, I just
Yeah.
face down, ass up.
Oh my god. Oh, by the way, Kyler here says that FYI, Tina is in great shape. Great shape. Tina is in great shape because she used Rachel's fitness program.
Should I
Word.
use Rachel's fitness program and
Maybe we all
post that
should.
on the socials?
Yeah, maybe we all
Here
should.
I am. I don't think I could do Rachel's fit. I think that would be the end of me.
Yeah, I would probably die.
Right. You'd just be looking at this. So the rest of the chaos would just be over. Like, I don't
You
know if
just
I
see me
can
with
do
like a
this.
sling and like a crutch. Like, hey, I'm here.
Oh
Can you
man.
bring my team back up? Because Blevins is trying to say bottom right hand corner
Is
girl
that
looks like a clunker.
Tina?
That's Tina. Okay, well, you should be so lucky.
Boop.
I think Tina is very pretty.
Yeah, you should be so lucky to put any of your stuff near her. Okay.
Any of your
All right,
stuff near her?
yeah, because Miss Barta is not going to have that. All right, she is a stunner. Okay, she's crushing it. All right.
I also, since we brought everybody's teams up and everybody in the cast was pictured, I just want to bring up the one person that wasn't drafted, just because I love this graphic.
Sorry, girl.
Ooh.
Sorry.
40 people in the cast. This was the one not chosen. By
It also
anyone.
is so funny that it says unwanted on the top because back in the days, you know, when you go down to this slow down saloon, this would have said just wanted
A
in the
wanted
same
poster,
font and the
right?
same- right. And it's like just the fact that it begins with unwanted is so savage. Like, we're so sorry, Katie.
Disrespectful.
If there was another round of picks, girl, I would have had you. Like, I just ran out, and like, you have to acknowledge there's mad good people in this season. Like, it's no disrespect.
Yeah.
It's
No,
no
definitely.
disrespect. I hate when you bring that up because it's so rude to her. Like, she's so much better than that.
Nobody wanted her. 39 draft picks. She wasn't one of them. She's the unwanted. It's all right. Somebody's got to be it. But
I hate that I can't argue it, but I don't like it.
I know it's not
Oh,
very
well.
nice, but it's fun. So,
All right.
now, as the winners of the elimination, Corey and Rachel had the opportunity to pick the next week's targets. There were a lot of volunteers in this one, but so Darrell, the men for the men in Era 1, Tina is the only woman left on her team besides Rachel, and Rachel was doing the picking. So
Right, that's it.
Era 1 is just
Decimated.
yeah, absolutely decimated. At this point, they started the episode with Brad. At this point, yeah, they've got 4 people left: Darrell, Derek, who could be on one leg for all we know. Who knows? So it's Darrell, Derek, Rachel, and
He's
Tina.
fine.
That's it. That's it. Meanwhile, you look at these other teams. Era 2,
That's
1,
it.
2,
That's
3, 4, 5, 6. Era 2 still has 7. Era 3 has 7. And Era 4, yeah. Everyone else has 7 people still. Era 1 is just sitting there with 4. Poor guys. But yeah, we had Darrell and Tina as the targets for Era 1, Nehemiah and Aviv for Era 2, Jordan and Naya for Era 3, and Kylan and Michelle for Era 4. Those are our targets going into this episode this coming Wednesday. So, any other last thoughts on episode 6 of the Challenge 40 before we wrap things up?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. I think that is it.
Okay, cool. So, what do we have coming up? Kyle, you want to tell everybody about BBUK?
No, I mean, other than the fact that I will be live, within 10 minutes after the episode airs. We are having a live move-in on Sunday, October 6th. That's having at 9 p.m. UK time, which I do understand, I think, to be 3 p.m. Eastern. So whatever that works out for you, come hang. Let's see who's moving in. Let's see what's going on. Big Brother UK is definitely done differently than the format that we are familiar with in America. They're on six times a week. Oh no, it is because there's 7 days in a week. 6 times a week, Sunday through Friday. They're on.
That's so crazy.
Um,
That's so many days.
yeah, every eviction vote is a public vote. So you do get to kind of have a say, but you do have to download the BBUK app to vote for your evictor. So, and that doesn't work with your VPN. So good luck unless you figure out a way to make it work. I have not. So please help us out with that. But that's what's going on. I will be covering BBUK. I have invited, John and Gina to join me whenever, but this is the official announcement that Consider Me Chuffed will be back. Definitely live every Sunday following the episode. As far as how the rest of the week goes, I don't know yet, because we do work. Episodes airing at 3 and 4 p.m. are not conducive to an American workday, but we'll be here because I really love this format. And AJ and Will as hosts are really second only to Arissa. You want to talk about the energy and people that actually know what's going on in the house. It's exciting. And there is Big Brother Leighton Live that happens after each episode. That is always hosted by one of the two of them. So the actual episodes are the Leighton Live after show, where they actually speak to the most recent evicted get, like the entire time. It's not just like a 7-minute chat with Julie at the end. Like they are there for the entire duration of the thing.
Yeah.
They start out as audience members and then they're part of the show. So it's a completely different way of watching Big Brother, and it's very fun. So yeah,
Nice.
you can come hang.
All right. I'll definitely be checking it out. I'm riding the train every day, so I feel like even if there's a lot of episodes, I'll make it my train watching.
Yeah, watch it on the train, and maybe that even becomes like maybe we just chat like real quick on a Saturday or something, like to kind of like just catch up on the week. A lot of evictions do happen on Friday nights. Like, there's a lot of potential here for what we want to do.
All right, excellent.
But I am committing to covering it because I'm gonna be watching it anyway. I really like it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, awesome. So that's Consider Me Chuffed. We'll be continuing our coverage of Big Brother 26, The Challenge 40, and Survivor 47. Obviously, Big Brother 26 will always be on Thursdays following the house guests' eviction. So we'll be back this Thursday. What is that? October 3rd, I believe.
Yeah.
To talk about Big Brother 26, the week that's going on right now, down to Final 5. And then I guess we've kind of been playing around with the days for Survivor and the Challenge, but we'll talk to Mikey, figure out when we're going to do the next Survivor stream. And I feel like
I don't think that's a question. I think Survivor has to be next Monday because Big Brother is 2 hours this week.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
And I'm also not here Thursday, so
yeah. That's definitely going to push Big Brother to at least 10:15 or 10:20, which means we're not going to have time for Survivor the Challenge. So it's going to have to be another double Monday.
Got it.
And I won't be here for that Monday, so please carry the torch. Sans me.
Yeah, literally carry the torch, Survivor.
Yeah, literally. Yeah,
we're not snuffing your torch. We're just carrying it.
No, please don't snuff it. Please don't snuff it. I'll be in Jersey. I'm painting a house for Habitat for Humanity.
Very nice.
I just won't be back in time.
All right.
Yeah.
So Consider Me Chuffed this Sunday. Big Brother 26, 10:15, 10:20 this Thursday, the 3rd, Eastern Time. And then next Monday, join us for Survivor 47 and the Challenge 40.
Yes.
All right. Excellent. I'll try to remember to make a graphic this time.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. All right.
I just don't.
But yeah, find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. We would love to hear from you. We always love meeting new people, getting new followers. Yeah, come hang out with us. We're fun. We're nice people. We deserve nice things. All right. Bye.